I've been trying to find a way to feel like I'm myself. Every single day I'm just ruining my health. You threw off my balance, made my life a living hell, but I kept it locked inside and I never asked for help. What's a retraction? We're breaking my heart into fragments and smashing them all in a line like an addict. I've had it, I'm done. I found my happiness right in the blast of a gun.
In the Sky Podcast, on today's episode we have SadBoyProlific. For the listeners who aren't really familiar with your music and what you do, kind of give yourself a little bit of an introduction.
Yeah, like you said, I go by SadBoyProlific. I make lo-fi, so it's more like down tempo, sad music, kind of really ambient, but with like a boom bap twist. But yeah, so it's just like really emotional event stuff and like really deep and like personal.
Now, how old are you?
Oh, yo, I'm 16.
You're 16, and what was your like upbringing like? What kind of environment did you grow up in?
I grew up in like in a really abusive household when I was like younger. So it was just me and my mom and my brother. My dad left like before I was born, and my bad. Basically like it was just like up until I was like 12, it was really like abusive, and then I got out of that. And I moved in with my aunt and uncle, but like I started going through like really emotional abuse. And then like up until now, like I dropped out of school this year, and I moved to a whole different state. And but like I really just like throughout that whole process, music was like the one thing that kept me grounded.
So I forgot to ask you this earlier, but originally when you were living with like your family and shit before you moved to another state, I guess, what state were you in, and like what city? What kind of like neighborhood?
I was in Houston, Texas. I mean like the type of neighborhood I was in always fluctuated because I moved a lot. But when I was with my mom, it was usually like the hood or like a really, really bad neighborhood. And then when I was with my aunt and uncle, they lived in like a middle class, like very average, like decent house.
Okay. Now you said like you experienced a lot of like abuse and whatnot when you lived with your mom. Can you like kind of elaborate on that a little bit more?
So like with my mom, or what?
Yeah.
So I would say it like started when I was about 3. I mean, that's as far back as my memory goes. But like the first time that she ever did something like that I would like call abusive, like I was walking, it was like my birthday party. And there was these 2 grills set up, and I was walking between them. And like as a 3-year-old, like I was actually pretty like developed. Like I had started going to like early writing classes and stuff and like speech stuff. So like I could understand and like comprehend shit that was going on, you feel? And so my mom was like, "Oh, yo, like put your hand right here." And she pointed to the grill, like the inside of the grill. And so like I just did it because I was fucking 3. And then like I touch it and it's hot, and I try to move my hand away, and she pushed it down and left it there. And like I still have like a scar. It looks kind of weird, like a bunch of freckles like clumped together on my arm, but it's like from back when I was 3.
That is fucked, bro. Fuck that shit. I'm glad you got out of that situation. How old were you when you got out of, kind of that household?
Well, I guess like the first time I was out was 8, but my mom came back into my life when I was 12. But like after I was 12, she's left, and like I've never talked to her since.
What was kind of her deal like? I mean, not just with that specific like girl situation, but why was she like so like just not fucking with you?
What do you mean?
Like, what was she on anything like?
Yeah, so my mom like she did a collection of drugs. Now like I don't know specifically what each one was, just because like I was very young, but I know that she was heavy on sleeping pills and like fucking like opioids and shit. So she was always passed out or asleep. And I know she used to do harder shit back in the day, but like I'm the youngest, so she just kind of she slowed down, and and whenever I like she had me, it was just like opioids and sleeping pills, but she used to do like coke and shit like that.
That shit's fucked up. I'm glad you're out of that situation. How many siblings do you have? Because you said you're the youngest.
So I have four. I have two from my mom's side and two from my dad's side.
Okay. And earlier you mentioned like mental abuse with your aunt and uncle. How'd that kind of go? If you don't care to talk about it.
So their like jobs were very, very like stressful. And like they were working really, really hard for like a long time. And like they actually like couldn't have kids. Like it was impossible for them. Um so when they had the opportunity to take me in, like it was a big thing for them. But as the years went by, I kind of turned into like a burden more than like a child being raised. Cause like all of the shit I've been through, bro, like I'm not gonna lie, like I was pretty bad in school, like when I was younger, and like that shit does something to you, bro. Like for a while at least, like you're not you, like you're not a person. And once it got to that point for me, like they just kind of gave up on me, and I had to like on my own, I had to find like who I was as a person and like how to be a good person again. But for them, it was too late, and so like they and plus like since their jobs were so stressful, like they were like easily agitated, so they would take a lot of stuff out on me, and like I'm very self-conscious, like very, very self-conscious, and so like they would like degrade me a lot about my appearance and like my weight and like how I look, how I dress, shit like that. And they were like they told me that I would always like I'd never be anything just like my mom, or like I would turn out like my brother who was like always in jail, shit like that. But it was like all the time.
That's fucked up. And now, where are you at now? Where'd you move off from?
So I moved to shit. I can't give you the exact location just for certain reasons.
Yeah,
but
I got
like
you.
it's I mean I could say El Paso, Texas, basically.
Okay. Yeah, that's all I need. So from Houston to El Paso, how far away is that?
Mm,
Without
about a
giving out.
14-hour bus ride.
That's fucking crazy, man. It's like one state, like where I live in Kentucky, like UB, on the other. I don't know. Texas is fucking huge, man.
Yeah, bro, it's fucking gigantic.
Have you ever been outside of Texas?
Yeah, I've been to, like Arkansas, Colorado, Cali, New Mexico.
Hell yeah. Let's kind of start to get into the music. Now, when did you first start making your own music? Kind of dabbling into it.
Well, I started writing like actual music when I was 6. It before that it was kind of just like I would go around everywhere. Like I mean I guess you could call it a freestyle, but it wasn't really a freestyle. I just like either in my head or like out loud I would just rhyme random words and stuff. And I love to play with language. And I didn't even know rap was a thing before I did that. And then like I heard, and this is like every corny white rapper's origin story, but I heard the Marshall Mathers LP, like the first one, when I was 6 in my mom's car, and I like fell in love with what rap was as a whole. And so I started listening to a bunch of different artists and stuff, and like I started turning like rap into a way that I could express myself from a really young age. And then I started recording about like 2 years ago as a freshman in high school. I was like 14. I used like Apple earbuds. And then from there I got like a USB mic and now like an XLR condenser.
Hell yeah, bro. The come up. Now, when did you first start to see like good numbers? Like, how did that kind of come? Was it just from grinding, or was there like a cosign from anybody?
So pretty much like I had built myself up pretty like decently as a very like small not upcoming but first starting out artist. Like I was doing really good with my numbers to begin with. And to be honest, like my music quality in terms of sound like wasn't the best because I was young as fuck when I first started, and then like I was using trash equipment and didn't know how to mix. But as I got older, like I'd say about a year ago, that's when I really noticed the change. Like I like my favorite rapper of all time actually, like it wasn't really a cosign, but I guess it kind of was. They put one of my songs out on Twitter, and then Promoting Sounds found it, And I actually have never hit up Promoting Sounds to upload anything. Like, the dude that runs the page found me. Like, I don't know if it was from that tweet or just like going through SoundCloud, but he found my music and started uploading that. But my Spotify, before getting uploaded to like promoting and stuff, was already at like 20,000 monthly listeners. So like I was doing pretty good, but I'd say it spiked about a year ago.
Yeah, you're killing it, bro. Like for real. Now, who is that rapper, if you don't mind? Or
They go by Atlas. They're like the like number one lo-fi rapper.
oh, okay. Now, that's what kind of confused me because your whole image and everything comes off as like a rapper. You know what I mean? And then when you actually listen to your music, it's like more heartfelt and just just kind of more of that lo-fi vibe. Do you consider yourself a rapper?
I mean, I don't consider myself anything. I just like I know what I am deep down, and like I know what I feel I make, and like I consider myself just like an artist, or like I'm just a rapper. Like I'm not a lo-fi rapper, a alternative rapper. Like I try to be versatile. Like I'm just me, at the end of the day. But yeah, like I consider myself a rapper.
Dope, dope. So, you know how you said that your aunt and uncle and everybody just kind of really doubted you. Do they know what you're doing in music and how you're doing?
I've told them, and they actually don't believe it. And I tried to show them like my stats and stuff, and they don't believe it. But I mean, yeah, they know, I guess.
That's fucked. That
Nah,
really
I
is.
fucking love it. It's hilarious to me.
Because one day you're just gonna pull up and something fucking crazy. You're like, oh, I don't know. I don't know how you roll, man. But
Nah, I just need me a Toyota.
the Toyota, I like that. That's humble. It's humble as fuck. So back when you were like making music, from would you say 8 to like 13 or whatever, before you start taking it seriously, what kind of inspired you to jump off the ledge and just really go all out for it?
I guess it's like all of my life experiences kind of like once I got out of middle school and going into high school, I kind of like those experiences kind of enhanced how I looked at everything, and I realized that like school wasn't the place for me, and like music was what my life centered around. Like when if somebody asked me, "Yo, what do you love the most in your whole life?" I'd say music, just because like music has been there for me through everything. And so like I just kind of realized like, yo, why should I just be somebody that enjoys listening to music and sits behind a desk and writes stuff that I'll never put out? Like I got tired of it. Like you kind of just get fed up. Like I wanted to be heard, but I didn't want to demand being heard. Like I just wanted to put out music, and if people related to it, like that was great. And that's just what I did.
Hell yeah, bro. So with like you blowing up and stuff, did the kids when you went to high school, did they like really know about it, or like what did they think when they figured out about it? Were they hating or?
So it was actually crazy. I thought, because I went to like a public school, but not just a public school. Like it was in like a really, like not good neighborhood.
Ghetto ass
And
public
so,
school.
yeah, and like all my friends, like I'm usually like the only like white person in my whole clique, and all of my homies are usually like really street oriented. You feel, because like that's what we all grew up on, you know.
Yeah.
And so like their music tastes were always very like, like either mainstream radio stuff or like hardcore like trap and shit. So I'm like over here making soft ass music and I didn't think anybody would fuck with it. And then like like people found out, my homies, like my closest homies, I told them about it. They spread it, and now like I think like a whole like fucking incoming class like from last year, like all of the fucking freshmen, like as I was a sophomore, like they all knew my music and I didn't know like any of them. And I was just like, holy shit, like that's
Clout.
crazy. Yeah, it was insane.
That's awesome, bro. I'm happy for you because your music is like, it's not bullshit. Like it's genuine emotions and shit. and I can definitely respect that. Like, you can't, especially someone at your age, bro. You know what I was doing at your age? Fucking nothing. Jack shit. I was going to go to college. You got shit way more figured out than I did. That's why age isn't a thing. Like, you know, someone else could see you and, you know, see that you're 16. And they probably have. I'm pretty sure you've probably had experience about, oh, he's 16. He don't know this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
But, like, sometimes, you know, you just can't underestimate.
No cap, bro. That's the mindset that I'm setting out to change. Like, if there's one thing I want to advocate for, it's that, you know, age doesn't always determine mental capability. Now, age is a factor in a lot of things, and no, not everybody is mentally developed at a young age, but I think that people that are should have a voice too. You know, like, kids, we have, like, no rights, bro. And I mean, there are people in countries, even as adults, that don't have rights, and, like, it's not something that I should bitch about, you know, because, like, we don't have it bad, but
Not at all.
my thing is, like, we still have no voice. Like, we don't get to speak about anything. Like, and one of the most used arguments is, like, we don't get to vote. That's still a big thing. Like, the people that we put in office, that should be determined by everybody as a country, like, collectively. And it's like those of us that have ideas and input that could be productive and, you know, proactive, you know, we're not heard because we're young. Like, you know, we're considered like a joke. And it's just like, what the fuck?
They should definitely lower, like, the voting. Because
I think
like,
16 is a good age, bro.
Yeah, 16 would be a good age. Because, like, in most states, kids are already, you know, just starting to drive, this, that, and the other. And they should also lower the drinking and recreational smoking age. For sure.
Yeah.
Because you can go out and die for the country at 18, but
well, I know recreational, I think it's like, you have to be, 21, right, to smoke? I do think 18 would probably, only because, like, at this point, like, if you've mass legalized weed in the state, like, you know, it's basically like cigs now. Like, you can go into a dispensary and just buy as much as you want, or up to, like, a big amount. So it's just like, what's the difference between cigs and weed? If anything, cigs are gonna kill you faster than weed would.
Yeah.
But I think, like, drinking, I do think that should be at 21, only because, like, I'm young, and I won't cap, like, I drink, you know, from time to time, I get fucked up, and, like, I can't control myself when I'm drunk. Like, nobody can. I mean, when you're young, bro, like, it's hard. Now, there are people that have been drinking since they're, like, 12, and they can handle it. But, like,
I mean,
I don't know.
How often do you drink?
People, like, once every, like, 4 or 5 months.
Yeah, and how much is, like, your point of, like, getting drunk?
I drink a whole, like a whole bottle of Jack, a whole bottle of Henny or something.
You're crazy.
Like, I have a high tolerance to everything, but that's just because my mom, like, in my genetics.
That's crazy. A whole bottle of Jack. I couldn't, bro. That put me, I don't even drink, but, like, that would put me on my ass. Like, I would be dead. Like, I wouldn't even do it. Like, it's alcohol poisoning.
Dude, we gotta link one day, bro, and fucking blaze up.
For sure. I go by Texas, or you come through my alley. Whatever one.
Bet, man.
Can't be getting in trouble. I can't.
I feel that.
So, what inspires a lot of your music?
The only thing that inspires me on the most no cap shit is life. Like, whatever happens to me, because, like, people are like, oh, well, your music is so authentic and real, and I'm like, well, that's the problem with music nowadays, is that everything that you hear mainstream is just not. Like, it's a life that people aren't living. And for me, I never got that, because my music is literally just my experiences, like, what I go through. And I'm not a crazy lyricist. I don't have a crazy ass flow. Like, I don't even know why the fuck I'm as high up and so highly regarded as I am, because, like, I think I can do so much better, you know, like, I'm always striving to improve. And, like, that's just what I'm trying to do, you know, it's just, like, improving, like, 24/7.
I think it's so crazy that, like, you have it figured out so much. I'm jealous a little, like, not necessarily jealous, but, like, at 16, if I would have known the shit you knew, goddamn. But respect, for real, like, dead ass.
bro. Bless.
Respect. Because at 16, like I said, I ain't gonna repeat myself. So, what would you say your recording process is? Like, do you like to drink before you record, or smoke, or like stay sober?
So I can write while sober, of course, but I mean, I won't cap. A blunt before a studio session is pretty nice. Or during and after. But I mean, I would say that I get way more creative when high, but that's just because I have ADHD, so it helps me slow down and think.
I feel
But
that, bro.
my recording process is, I don't know. I hear a lot of people say that they freestyle their music. And this is no disrespect, but Lil Wayne and okay, this one might be a little disrespect, but Juice World. But like, the thing that I've noticed is that when these artists record their like processes, it's just them going into a booth and like spitting shit that they've already memorized beforehand. So it's kind of cataloged. But like for me, I'll just put a beat on and like I'll freestyle. Like I'll basically do, like, it's not a recorded take, but I'll just spin the beat when I find it, and like I'll spit a freestyle, and I'll take 2 lines or so that I like from the freestyle, and those will be like the starting line, and then from there I just start, like, within like 5 minutes I'll have a verse pinned out, and then like I'll record it and I'll play around with the flows. Like while I write, I repeat everything. So like as I write like 2 bars in, I'll replay the whole track and flow it again and again and again, just so that I have like a solid flow, like right before I record.
So you produce your stuff, right? Like you produce it and like do most of the work on it?
Nah. So like for production, like I don't know how to produce yet. I'm working on it, but I have homies. But I don't mix or master either. Like I have. My roommate has been mixing my recent stuff, but I also have another homie that engineers named Cam Michael. But yeah, but I record everything at home, like, and shit, and I write at home and I just do at home studio shit.
Hell yeah. So we're gonna change the gears a little bit, back off music and more to your personal life. I saw it's your first it's your first post on Instagram, and it's like some Ronald McDonald meme, and it mentioned something about weed and then something about like school, if I'm not wrong. So what happened there?
Okay, well that's not like my first post ever, but yeah. So basically, so I was in Houston, like that's where I lived. And I had this fan who was basically a friend. I don't really consider fans. They're just kind of family. So like I'm willing to link up with anybody if I can. And this kid was in high school. He was a freshman. He was like, yo, I can get out of school today. Like, do you want to kick it? And I was gonna skip because like at that point it was just fuck school. So I was like, yo, for sure. So I Uber over to his school, and it was like a 40-minute drive. And then he gets out, and so we're walking down the road, and there was cops in the front of the school. And I had walked past them going towards the woods. So when I came back, I was walking with the kid, and they're like, yo, come here. And so I wasn't on school property, and honestly, I legally didn't have to step on, and I didn't notice till after. But I stepped onto the property, and I had a bunch of, like, smoking shit on me, but no weed. I had smoked it all before I fucking went to go. And so I was high as shit, but they didn't even know. And then, like, I had a bunch of cigar products and, like, nicotine. So, like, he let me keep my my cigars, but he threw away, like, my cigs and my jewel pods. But it was okay. And then, like, they called the so they called my school, or my old school, and then they handcuffed me and drove me all the way over there, and then I got suspended because I was skipping. But like some guy made a meme out of it, and it was fucking hilarious, bro.
That's funny as fuck. That's crazy. Like, it's so stupid. Like, cops just like ain't got nothing else better to do besides watch a couple kids.
I was just trying to blaze up that day, bro.
Did it blow your high?
Yes, bro. Actually, nah. Like, cause I was really messing with the cop. Like, there's some cool cops out there, but I really don't fuck with cops, to be honest, dude. Like, on the most no cap shit, cause I've had too many homies locked up or like that have gotten like beaten up by cops and shit. And like, fuck that, bro. But like the thing was, bro, like I was being a smartass with him because like he asked for my mom's number, so I gave him the only number that I know that she had, but it was a number that didn't work. And so he handcuffed me only because I lied to him because he's like, well, now I don't know if I could trust you, and he was smart because I was gonna run. Like I was gonna fucking do it, bro, and they were not gonna catch me. Like I would have been gone.
That's funny.
But then he handcuffed me.
So
I was gonna run with the. Oh, never mind.
Oh, you're good. You're good. What were you gonna say?
Oh no, I was gonna run with the cuffs on.
That's crazy.
But I was like,
I've been a bitch to get off.
Facts.
I don't see why people. That's so stupid. Running with handcuffs on. I don't see how. I mean, unless you know somebody with a full like workshop, then you're fucked.
I do, bro. My brother.
Okay. That's crazy. So, how'd you get your name?
Oh, okay. This one's wild and kind of cringy. So, I've had a lot of different rap names. I'm not proud of any of them, not a single one. But it started with when I was 11. I that's when I first heard about like stage names. Like I didn't know that was a thing that most people like had, and so I had came up with Fire and Ice, and then from there it went to Blasphemy, and then from Blasphemy, like I used Blasphemy while I was 13 because I used to like battle in online forums, and I would like put out my work online and stuff. So like from there I went to SadBoyProlific, and I was in chemistry class like 2 years ago as a freshman, and I was listening to Khan. I don't know if you know who that is, but he's fucking like a god. And he has this song called Concepts too, and in the song he says the word prolific, and so I looked it up, and like because the word just stood out to me, and the word prolific meant to have a lot of something. And at the time I was going through like a lot of shit, like relationship wise, and then personal life and school and shit. And so like other than this dude named Sadboy Loco, which I had never heard of him until I looked up people that had the name Sadboy, like no other artist had Sadboy in their name, and he wasn't really making it a wave. Like I asked a couple people if they knew who he was, and only one person did. So I was like, okay, fuck it. And so like I was like SadBoyProlific because I was depressed. And so yeah, I mean like it's not the best origin story. I'm not finna cap.
That's pretty cool. Better than a lot of people who's like, yeah, I just came up with it. I was sitting in my room bored.
I feel it.
Yours has some meaning to it. Oh shit. So are there any messages that you want to give to the people listening?
One, sorry that I sounded like a bitch in the first half of this interview. I was holding in a lot of coughing. Second, follow me on Instagram, please. It's SadBoyProlific. It would help a lot. I also post a lot of like updates about new music. I'll put out snippets or like songs I'm about to pre-release. Everything happens first on Insta. Also, just like if you watch this whole thing, like thank you very much. I mean, I'm not the most interesting person to listen to, so it means a lot. And yeah, like love you guys.
Oh yeah. Thank you for listening to the In the Sky podcast, and thank you Prolific for coming on here, man, and talking to me. It's been dope getting to know you, dog.
Hey bro, no problem, man. This shit was lit as fuck.